Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Connor Steinbrück and you're on my Investor Army YouTube channel. I'd personally like to thank you for being here today. If you like what you hear, which I hope you do, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You'll get upcoming notifications of future videos we're putting out to help you in your real estate investing business. Now, what are we talking about today? We're going to be talking about leaks, those mistakes, right? Those leaks in your business, leaks in your systems, those big mistakes that you probably aren't even aware that you're making that are keeping you from getting to the next level, keeping you from hitting those goals and those dreams that you had, quitting your job, retiring early, hitting those big financial numbers that you heard were possible when you got into real estate, which are if you do the necessary things, but a lot of you are not. And if you're making mistakes and you're not aware of it, how are you going to change? So hopefully we can point some of those out for you today. But talking about awareness, being self-aware is a huge trait that a lot of high-level entrepreneurs have, not just in real estate, but in business in general, right? So put it like this. A lot of top-level entrepreneurs have a high level of self-awareness. They're auditing themselves on their personal life and on their business life routinely. They're standing up here, looking down on their business, saying, what am I doing? Is there a better way to do it? Can I do this cheaper? Can I do it more efficiently? Should I hire someone to do this? And then they're auditing their situation, and then they're changing and adapting and moving forward, and that's how you grow a business. You cannot just do the same thing over and over and over. You have to change what you're doing and get better on a day-to-day basis. So I know a lot of y'all are like, well, I don't even know if I'm making a mistake. So hopefully in today's video, I'm gonna give you 7 big mistakes that I see both new and experienced investors make routinely. Hopefully if you're making some of these, you can go forward and change them. So the biggest mistake I see a lot of people do is they don't know how to use this, right? What is this? A lot of you are gonna say cell phone. This is your millionaire maker. This has made more millionaires than anything else that I know of, right? Maybe besides a computer, but they're basically the same thing now, aren't they? So how do we use this correctly? I'm gonna talk about it right now. The biggest mistake I see all y'all make is y'all don't pick up the phone. Like when this thing starts ringing and you see a number come in, pick it up, right? How many of y'all paid all this money for education, put all this money into marketing campaigns, and then the phone rings and you don't pick it up? I'll be out to eat with a bunch of other investors and their phones will ring, and I'll watch it ring and ring and ring, and they won't pick it up. They won't step away from the table, they won't go outside, or I'll see people have their phone ring and they'll be on the phone with a friend and they'll just let it ring, and they're like, well, I'll call them back later. No, you call them back now. In fact, you don't call them back now, you pick up the phone, you hang up on your friend, you pick that phone up. You simply say, hey, I got a phone call coming in. If they keep talking, you hang up on your friend and you get that lead and you close a $30,000 deal and you say, hey, sorry, I didn't mean to be rude. By the way, we can go to Costa Rica next weekend if you want. What do you think they're gonna say? Oh no, man, you were so mean to me. You hung up on me. I was so disrespected. I don't wanna be friends anymore. Of course not. They're gonna say, when do I pack my bag? We're going. It's no big deal, right? So you guys are spending a lot of money to get the phone to ring. Pick it up, and just so y'all understand, it's not just new investors, it's experienced investors that make this mistake. Go to Google right now. Build your buyers list using this exercise, but also to prove my point. Google We Buy Houses, whatever city you live in, right? We Buy Houses Dallas. We Buy Houses Los Angeles, wherever you're at. Google it. You're gonna get a bunch of websites to pop up. At the top, you're gonna have pay-per-click ads. These people are paying to be there. The other ranking results are search engine optimization, organic results, right? They figured out how to rank in Google. These are not inexperienced investors. Call about 30 or 40 of them. See how many actually pick up the phone, and then see how many call you back. I think it'll make a lot of y'all feel a lot more comfortable about this competition that you're competing against, right? Because these are the best of the best in your area, and they're not even picking up their phone or calling people back most of the time, which is unbelievable to me. But it's good for me because I make a lot of money because they don't run their business efficiently and effectively. So we filmed a video on how your competition can make you money. Go ahead and do this exercise, because a lot of people, you're just not picking up the phone. And I understand you're at work. You may be in the shower. You may be in a client meeting. You may be doing something that you can't pick up the phone. But if you're on the phone with someone else, unless it's life or death, hang it up, pick up that new call coming in, because it could be a $50,000 deal. Now, if you can't pick up the phone for any reason, call people back. And I don't mean like tomorrow or later in the evening. I mean like step out, take a bathroom break at work, and go call these people back like now and schedule that appointment, because a lot of y'all wait too long. And if you wait an hour, how many people can that homeowner call in that next hour? A lot. And if they call me, what am I doing? Well, I'm picking up the phone and I'm going out there and getting that deal, while you're saying, oh, well, I'll call them back tomorrow. And then you call that lead back and the deal's already gone. Pick up the phone, call people back. It's going to increase your money, increase the number of deals you do, increase the amount of money you make each year if you just do these 2 simple things that seem like a no-brainer, but it's one of the biggest mistakes I see. Now, once you're on the phone, you have to be doing a couple of things that are not making other investors in your area upset with you. Now, I know a lot of y'all paid a lot of money to go through training, high-level courses, mentoring, and they gave you a bunch of scripts. Guys, Do not ever read from a script. If you have a script and you don't know what to say, rehearse it, study it, understand it, internalize that information. So when you're in a conversation, you can talk to them like a normal person. They're not a robot, so you shouldn't be reading like a robot off a script. This is going to basically expose you as being brand new in the marketplace. And who wants to work with someone that's brand new? These people are busy, their time's expensive, and you want them to sit there and have them listen to you read a script? Guys, you can't be doing it. You're better off talking off the top of your head as a normal human would be than reading a script, even if you don't know what you're saying. Because if someone is reading it off a script to me, which, trust me, people can tell if you're reading a script, I basically am trying to get off the phone as fast as I can, or I'm turning it off as I'm doing something else I'm not even listening to, and that's the stone cold truth, what most people are doing on the other end of the line. So don't read from a script. Number two, these big companies, I know a lot of y'all paid $50,000 to go get a bunch of interviews, script interviews, to ask people a bunch of questions. Guys, stop doing this. Do not interview someone. If you're building your buyers list, do not interview them. Do not ever say the words, "What is your buying criteria?" That is the biggest no-no that you could ever make, and that's what a lot of people are paying $50,000 to learn. It's crap, and unfortunately those companies just fill their programs with a bunch of stuff because they have to somehow rationalize that they're selling you value, which they're really not. So don't interview people. Put it like this. Does anybody want to just have some random person call you up when you're in the busy part of your day? Seriously, ask yourself right now, would you want someone to call you when you're really busy in the middle of your day and just start reaming you and pounding you with questions? Here, do you buy 3-2s or 4-2s? Do you buy in the 7.5-216? Okay, you do. Do you buy in the 7.5-217 that's like 500 yards away? Of course they do, guys. Stop interviewing people. You're embarrassing yourself and you're upsetting that other investor, and you're really reducing your likelihood that you're going to have a working relationship with these individuals going forward. You should not be taking up 15 minutes of their time, which we'll get to in just a second. So, never say buying criteria, don't interview people, and don't read from scripts. The other thing is, get in and off the phone as fast as you can. This is where the most time is being wasted. People get on a phone call and they spend 15-20 minutes when they should have been in and out in 60 seconds. I can take a phone call that you spend 15 minutes on and get more information in 60 seconds, and I'm off that phone and on to the next one than you can, right? So it's very valuable to be getting in and off the phone quickly, because when you realize how important a minute is and how it compounds each day, you're going to realize you got to get it off the phone quickly. You should not be spending more than 15 minutes on any phone call, period, unless it's a very rare circumstance. So get in and off the phone quickly. So those are the big mistakes that I want to point out. We could do a whole weekend seminar on how to answer the phone and how to do the phone, use the phone, but pick it up, call people back, don't read scripts, never interview people, never say buying criteria. It's embarrassing yourself, and it's just exposing you as being brand new in the marketplace. And then get in and off the phone as quickly as possible. You do not call someone for 15 minutes to build your buyer's list. It should be a 30-second phone call. It should simply be like this. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, I saw your information online. Wow, I'm pretty impressed. It looks like y'all have a good operation going. We help wholesale properties in that area. Would you like to be on our buyer's list? Okay, let me text you my information. You text me yours so I don't put it into our system wrong, etc. And there you go. In and out in 30 seconds. They'll text you their information because it's their job. When you realize it's their job to get on your buyer's list, you don't spend all this time trying to get this information. And when you have 10,000 people on your buyer's list, you can't track whether people buy 3-2 or 4-2 or which zip code. Just get everybody on your buyer's list and market to them, and they'll decide if they want the deal. Now, I'm going to talk about number two. The biggest mistake I see lately is people doing the business, they chase leads that have no chance of being monetized, right? You can't monetize every lead. In my business, maybe 1 out of 15 phone calls that comes in, we turn into a deal. So what does that mean? 14 out of 15 times the phone rings, that's not going to be a deal. But most new investors chase every deal. When I was new in the business, I would go out to almost every property, and I would never get the contract. Now, I rarely go to a house that I don't get the contract on. So you have to not chase bad leads. And so I teach, our 3-step process on how to pre-screen these leads and how to know to go after a lead, because there's nothing you can spend more time in and wasting more time in your business than driving out to a house that you're not going to get under contract, or driving out to show your wholesale properties, which is why we talk about JV wholesaling, or driving out to let people in to see a house for rent, or showing your properties. Guys, we're not real estate agents, we're investors, we're here to make money. It's all about speed and time. So don't go chase properties, randomly that you're not going to get. Pre-screen them. Get the price, get the repair estimate, and most people, they're not going to move a lot on the price. You can't just talk someone down from 100 to 50,000, guys. It just doesn't happen. So that most people in a seller's market, they're getting so much other interest from other investors that they're not going to move a lot in their price. So they basically need to be kind of where it's at a deal already before you go out there and chase that deal. Don't just get in your car and drive out there. I can't tell you how many people contact me and are like, Connor, you know, I got this deal. It's a really good deal. They're really motivated. They want to sell. I'm like, well, what's it worth? They're like, I don't know. Well, how much does it need to repair? Well, I don't know. Well, how do you know if it's a deal, guys? You have to pre-screen your leads. So the next thing is, if you get a lead and it's not a good deal, follow up. None of y'all have follow-up systems. Even a lot of high-level investors I know have horrible follow-up systems. I have a really strong follow-up system, which is where we get a lot of deals. There's big money in the follow-up. You need to be touching these people. Postcards, email, text messages, phone calls, all the time, because sometime down the road, they're going to realize that even though they didn't want to accept your price on the first offer, that after they call a bunch of other companies and they get the same price continuously offered to them, that eventually they're going to sell that price. Eventually reality is going to hit them and they're going to get out of delusion, and they're realizing that they have to sell the price basically in this price range where everybody keeps offering, and they're going to sell it to someone. And if all those other companies are not following up and you're the only one, who do you think is going to get that deal? So you have to put a follow-up system in place. Follow up routinely with these people, because you're losing a lot of deals. You work so hard to get the phone to ring, so pick it up. But if you do pick it up and it's not a deal now, put a follow-up system in place to where you can continuously track these leads, because a lot of deals will get 6 months or a year later, and a lot of y'all are missing out on those deals. So I want to talk about another point. Consistency, persistency, and volume, right? A big reason why a lot of y'all are not being successful is you're just not being consistent with your marketing. You'll put out marketing for 1 week and then you'll take 2 weeks off, or vice versa. Or here's a common cycle that you see a lot of investors make. They work really hard, they get a couple deals under contract, they're working hard on their marketing, and then they get a few deals that they're working on, and their marketing shuts down completely because they're focused on rehabbing these houses, they're focused on selling these deals. You need to have a marketing go through 24/7, every day of the week, and continuously be driving leads. You have to be doing this. And the other mistake you're making is you're not putting out enough volume. Guys, if you're sending out 100 mailers a week, you're not going to make it. If you're putting out 20 signs a week, you're not going to make it. Right now in our hot market, it takes me almost 1,000 signs, bandit signs, to get a deal. Guys, you need to be putting out volume. That's the biggest mistake I see. Because if you want to put out 1,000 signs in a year or 1,000 signs in 2 weeks, who's going to do more deals? And I know a lot of y'all don't have a lot of money to market, but there's a lot of different ways to make money in this business, and I teach over 120 different ways to find deals, but you have to be doing it over and over. Like, if all you can do is Craigslist ads, you better be putting out 300 a day, right? You better be blowing up Craigslist where nobody in the city doesn't know your name, right? So do more consistency, have more consistency with your marketing, and put out more volume. You can't be putting small amounts out, because it's one of the biggest mistakes a lot of y'all have, and I know there's a true fear barrier that you're going to put out this money and you're not going to get a return. But guys, if you're scared like that, you may as well go ahead and shut your business down, because if you're not doing the business right, you're not going to make money. So more volume, and be consistent, and never shut down your marketing. Now, I want to talk about the next thing, contracts, right? A lot of y'all are scared of contracts. And this is a very big thing that you need to get over really quickly, because when I started my business, I cost myself tens of thousands of dollars because I didn't know contracts. In fact, on my very first deal, I let another investor take advantage of me for about $3,300 because I'd never done a contract. I was scared of it, and I trusted him. You cannot trust people, guys. You have to get things in a contract. People used to do business with a handshake, and then so many people got screwed that basically people were like, we're just doing contracts and having it backed up by the law, right? So here's how you get over contracts. Get out whatever contract you're using. Purchase a sales agreement, assignment contracts, JV agreements, whatever you're using, lease agreements, and read it 5 times a day, every day for the next week. You'll never have to read that contract again. Plus, you're going to be losing a lot of deals, because if you go in front of a seller, and I go in front of that same seller, and I break down my full presentation that I put out, and I walk through the contract, and I point everything out, and you come in and you're like, well, you're flipping back from pages to page, and you're like, well, yeah, I think, okay, well, no, here, you're going to look like a fool, first of all, and they're not going to go with you. You're leaving deals on the table because you don't want to take the time to read the contracts. I promise you, they're not that scary. Go through them a number of times, learn them. Same thing with your scripts. If you're going to use a script for a phone call because you don't know what you're talking about, learn it and then apply it later, because you cannot just read off a script. You cannot just go up to a house with a contract that you don't know what you're doing, because you're going to be seen through very easily by that seller. If they're talking to anybody else, you're going to lose that deal. So learn your contracts so that you get more deals with the seller, and that other investors don't take advantage of you, because I had both things happen to me quite a bit when I started, before I realized, hey, might as well just take a few hours and learn these contracts, because it's costing me tens of thousands of dollars. So number 6, you got to understand time. Do things quicker, faster, but here's the real point I want to make about time in this video, because y'all know I talk about time all the time. You're not putting enough hours in. Guys, if you're working 40 hours a week, that's part-time. And I can't tell you how many times people look for every excuse they can. And I'm not trying to beat up on you guys, I'm really trying to help you here. Time is very important. So put it this way, someone who works 40 hours a week versus someone who works 80 hours a week. Who's going to get to where they're getting to faster? Who's going to do more deals? Who's going to make more money? And I know a lot of you are like, well, I work a 40-hour week. Well, guys, I work 100-hour weeks, and I did so for a long, long time. So put it this way. You go to work for 40 hours a week, and you come home and work 5 hours after, or 5 hours a week extra, like an hour a day that you're putting on your business. You're never going to make it just putting a little bit of time. I worked, when I started my business, 100+ hours a week, 6 months straight without a day off. If you break that down, that's like a year and a half or something where it's a full 40-hour work week where I didn't even close a deal. Why? Because you're educating yourself. There's a fear barrier. There's a lot of real things that I dealt with that you're dealing with too. I was scared to go out and learn contracts. I was scared to go out and talk to sellers. I was scared to make phone calls. So I self-sabotaged myself for quite a while, and I would just sit there and constantly try to get educated, watch videos over and over. So guys, there's two huge parts: getting educated and implementing and taking action. So you have to go out there and take action, because a lot of y'all are not putting enough time in. You need to be putting 60, 80 hours in a week if you really want to build a big business. Now, if you're just trying to make a couple extra deals, increase your income, close an extra $5,000 or $10,000 a wholesale deal, you don't need to be putting that much time in. But if you're wanting to quit your job, you need to go work your 9 to 5, get done, come home, eat for an hour, and work your 6 to 12 every day until you get to that point where you can quit your job. Every day. I'm not talking about, oh, work 5 days a week. This 5-day work week was created a long time ago by big business owners. It's not real. You need to be working every day if you want to get to where you're going, because if you're not, your competition's outworking you and they're getting those opportunities that you're missing, and that's just how it is. 40 hours a week is part-time. You really should be working 60, 80 hours a week to get your business off the ground. Now, once you get it off the ground, you can hire people. You can hire virtual assistants. You can hire in-house assistants. You can outsource. You can delegate. You can do other things to buy back your time, because you now have money. But in the beginning, you don't have a lot of money starting your business. You have a lot of time, so you need to be putting your time in, and as you grow, you transition out to buying back your time with the money that you're bringing in, if that makes sense. So the last thing I want to talk about, guys, and this is the most important thing that there is, a lot of y'all give up just way too soon. You just give up. It gets tough. You're spending a lot of money. You start doubting yourself. You start thinking this isn't going to work. Guys, this is a consistency business. Those are people that stay on it, just keep doing it over and over and over. Eventually, some people get there quicker, some people take longer, but everybody will get there if you just keep going. Do not give up. Because a lot of y'all give up within 2 months, 3 months, a few weeks. Guys, you're not putting in enough time, you're not putting in enough energy. It takes a lot of effort. Most businesses, not even just in real estate, are not profitable for a year or two. So don't get frustrated. Just realize you're planting seeds to change your life in the future. And if you're not having the success you want now, maybe it's because you had unrealistic expectations. Maybe people put wrong thoughts in your mind and said, you should be making all this money like tomorrow. Guys, it's a progression of events. You start now, you learn, you get educated, you start failing in the field, you start closing small deals, you get to where you're closing bigger deals because you're making less mistakes, and eventually you're going to start hitting those goals. You're going to increase from 1 deal a month to 2 deals a month to 3 deals a month to all of a sudden you're running a big business. So that's how it happens. You're just not putting in enough time, and you're giving up way too soon. So please don't give up on yourself. I know you can do it. You can do it. You just got to keep going. So I hope that helps, guys. The biggest mistakes, let's kind of go back over. Phone, you need to pick it up, call people back, stop interviewing people, never read off a script, never use the word buying criteria, and get in and off the phone as fast as possible. Those minutes, those seconds are precious, they're valuable, they're going to increase your bottom line at the end of the year. Number 2, never drive to a lost lead or a lead that you didn't pre-screen. Don't just get in the car and chase a lead and think that you're so good and so entitled to that deal and you're going to be this expert negotiator that you're going to talk someone down. You need to know that it's a deal worth going to, because there's nothing that you can waste more time in than sitting in traffic chasing a bad lead. Number 3, follow up relentlessly. Put some type of follow-up system in. Don't ever let any lead get through the cracks. You should follow up until that house sells. Number 4, consistency. Do more marketing. Do it more consistent. Be persistent and just keep pumping out. The only way you're going to get deals is if you do more volume. If you're not getting deals because the marketing you're doing is not working and you stop your marketing, how can you get more deals? The only way I have a marketing problem is to do more marketing and more volume. Number 5, you have to know your contracts. Sit there, study them, learn them. It does not take that much time. You can learn them all in a week if you really tried. Number 6, you have to work longer, put more time into the business. Put more time into the business, work longer hours. If you really want to change your life, stop saying you want to change your life and then going watching TV, guys. Turn off the TV, pick up a book. Do something that's going to increase your chances of being more successful. And the last one is just don't give up. Never give up. Change your life, become successful, just never give up on yourself, because if you don't give up, I don't know anybody really that's really tried really hard and that just kept going that hasn't made in this business. This is not something that that people just cannot make it happen. If you just keep going, don't give up, you're going to make it happen, if that makes sense. So I hope you liked the video. If you did, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next video.